So, North Korea and the White House spar at a United Nations meeting. And North Korea has confirmed that they are spying on the United States through their new spy satellite, basically threatening the United States, saying that they're taking pictures of all these U.S. national interests. Like, North Korea says it has captured detailed photographs of the White House, the Pentagon, and U.S. nuclear aircraft carriers. In addition to this, the reconnaissance satellite also captures images of an airfield in Virginia, a U.S. naval base, a shipyard, KCNA said. The state media has also reported that the satellites photograph cities and military bases in South Korea, Guam, and Italy. Now, these thinly veiled threats, basically North Korea is saying that who knows what they will do with this new, knowing where some of our, and even some of this says knowing where U.S. military troops are. Now, North Korea's president's sister, Kim Yo-jong, claims North Korea will never sit face to face with the U.S. again. Says there will be no face to face meetings between North Korea and the U.S. ever again. And says North Korea will not negotiate its sovereignty with the double faced United States. North Korea said it will never negotiate its sovereignty with the United States, criticizing Washington for a, quote, double-faced for offering talks while ramping up military activities in their own region. Now, if North Korea cuts off all communications with the United States, it only makes it more likely that there could be some type of altercation between the United States and North Korea. We're seeing North Korea align more with Russia, China, North Korea, and also what is happening in the war with Israel, Hamas, and Gaza and Palestine over there, because we've already seen Russia and Iran align. We're already seeing Russia and the Wagner Group saying that they will supply Hamas with anti-missile and technology there. And Iran and Russia are already partners, saying that they will supply each other with technology. And we also know that North Korea and Russia are partners as well and are supplying each other with technologies as well. And we know that all of their common enemies are the United States. So you guys can put two and two together and see where all of this leads to. And then, coincidentally, we just had Russia issuing an ominous warning about war with NATO, which the United States is obviously a part of, one of the founding members here. Sergei Ryabkov, Russia's deputy foreign minister, has issued an ominous warning about a possible armed conflict between Moscow and NATO member states during an interview with Russia's daily newspaper, Izvestia. Russia's officials have routinely insinuated that Russia could attack NATO members for providing Ukraine with assistance in the ongoing war. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev said in December that such countries could be legitimate military targets. Rybakov was asked whether he expects an armed conflict between Russia and NATO in the future, should relations remain as strained as they are now. He says, quote, "It depends on the North Atlantic Alliance. NATO has a choice. As we already demonstrated, we are ready to protect our national interests by all means." And I'll get to Russia's high threshold for losses here in a second, because they're willing to put up with a lot. Rybakov said it would be a dangerous path to encroach endlessly on Russia's interests, and said that the people who continue to test our strength, they must have believed that there was no limit to their own rate-raising game, but they must find themselves among the total losers in this arena. Russia actually just recently said that they believe there is way too many NATO troops on multiple areas of their different borders. So you guys can let me know your thoughts on there on whether they will take action on this. Also, you can see the major headline here. Russia has a, quote, high tolerance for losses after losing hundreds of aircraft, thousands of tanks, which they're, and really this is a large percentage of what they have. We know that they have been going into their old Soviet era stocks. So they are using a lot of what they've had. And more than 300,000 men in Ukraine, NATO chief says. And this is pretty accurate because they had previously released a government document on insurance. Well, it was kind of a government payout document, kind of like insurance. It was basically their own Russian document that says, here's the amount of men that died in the war, and we have to pay out to the families kind of an insurance claim. Here's the amount of men that died, and now we have to pay out these families as kind of like a death insurance payment. Here is the actual document. I brought it up. Russia's likely death toll in Ukraine revealed by government filing. And remember, this was some time ago. The remaining 5.2 billion rubles of budget divided by the government's monthly payment of only $225 per family is enough to pay the family of 239,300 killed military personnel, noting that the budget includes personnel killed in other conflicts as well as Ukraine, which honestly, probably realistically is all included in that. And remember, this was a while ago. Remember, the war is going on every single day ago, or every single day. So, yeah, I mean, this is probably 300,000 is probably pretty close to accurate. And let me know your thoughts here in the comments. So when we look at the headline here, Russia has a high tolerance for losses after losing hundreds of aircraft, thousands of tanks, and more than 300,000 men in Ukraine. It's very scary. It's very scary. The other things that come to mind are, would they actually use a nuclear weapon? It's a very real possibility. Would they use it in Ukraine? Do they think they could get away with it? That's a very real possibility because they've seen what how the world wants to stay out of Ukraine. For example, they've seen how the world is not willing to put their own men into Ukraine because they don't want Russia to use nuclear weapons. Okay, they don't want to enter the war. For example, every single country doesn't want to be at war themselves. Okay, for example, the U.S. didn't want to enter World War II, even World War I. The U.S. never wants to enter war. It's the same for all countries for the most part, unless they really have a dictator like, Hitler, Putin, or they really convince their population, or mind control or something like that. Or unless they really convince their population that this is the way, right? We have to go and conquer these people for whatever reason, right? If you really believe the propaganda, right? This is where propaganda from media sources really has you believing something, right? It's okay to attack these people. We have to do it because such and such a reason. You have people in another country, and if they get you believing that we have to go and invade that country, and it's okay, that's when you're starting to believe the propaganda. And this is what Putin is really good with. And this is the propaganda that has now fallen against Israel. Israel got attacked first, and now they're attacking back to eradicate the people who attacked them. And now they're making Israel look like the bad guy. And remember, Iran is funding Hamas. Iran's there. And remember who is the friends, who is the allies of Iran? Russia. Russia's very good with the propaganda game, the media game. They've taught Iran and Hamas very well how to flip the media. And look at, we have thousands, tens of thousands of people in the United States, maybe hundreds of thousands and around the world, who knows how many, of people thinking that Israel is the bad guys for defending and attacking the people who attacked them. Thousands of people at a music festival, and took women and children and babies, took them hostages, and still are held hostage. And the problem is Hamas has said they will do it over and over and over again. That is the problem. And you look at the Ukraine war, Ukraine is still being attacked to this day. And we have a lot of people that says Ukraine should just give up. They should just give in to the invader. And we've seen what happened with Hitler in World War II when they surrendered to the invaders, to Hitler. What did he do? What happened to the countries that surrendered to Hitler? He just bulldozed right over them and then just took over the next country and the next country and the next country. And that's what Putin wants to do. He took over Crimea. He wants to take over Ukraine. He's already says he wants to take over Moldova and Belarus. And what's next? So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date. It's a tricky situation out there, and a lot of lives are going to be lost. Yeah. Thank you for liking and sharing these videos. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe down below. Scary times out there. Yeah. Click here to see the mystery pneumonia from China that is rapidly spreading and could be here in the US. Or click here to see the new attacks from Iran on the United States. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.